Cold this morning. We were all bundled up and closed, and pretty dark out there. Sort of got it rolling, hit some 12s, and then I saw where Dwayne was, where Tim was, and I started pushing it a little hard. Shot a couple 8s, gone for 12s.
Right away, I knew I had some catching up to do. It wasn't the start I was hoping for, but kind of chipped away at it. Fought back and ended up one up for today, which wasn't nearly what I was hoping to shoot from yesterday. But hey, it was good enough to make a shoot down. So, one thing at a time.
I don't know. I made a mistake. I started looking at the leaderboard and I let it kind of get in my head a little bit and shot 2 more 8s, and probably the one that disturbs me the most is the one I did on the last target. It was I didn't need it. I probably shouldn't have went hard at the 12, and just kind of a tactical error. But I still got a 6-point lead, so just gonna go out in the shoot off. I may go try a little bit longer stabilizer. I haven't had a lot of time to get ready for this, so I've changed a lot of things since I've been here, really. And
it was a good day. I shot 8 up yesterday, and shot the 13 up today, so good weekend. Really happy with it.
Well, first of all, you got to really look at the position you have on the actual targets. Where is the guy to your right, or who's closest to you, who's the threat, and what targets are they going to finish up on? What targets are you going to finish up on? Myself personally, I think if I can go out there and shoot 2 12s and the rest 10s, I should win. Okay. But if somebody gets hot, seniors are a little less aggressive, so maybe if this was the Open Pro Division, you might have to worry about some 14s, but depends what they throw out there for us.
Well, with Tim and Dwayne, right, they're quite a ways ahead, and Tony's right there. He's going to be 3 points ahead of me, so I'm going to have to gun at him pretty hard, and I'm more than likely going to be shooting for some 14s to try to make up some ground where I can.
They always have a short one. I hope it's not my first target, but because you sort of want to calibrate your yardage, how you judge. So I sort of like to get a 10 under my belt, and then sort of let it go from there. Try to get some 12s, maybe try to 14 that close target. And just sort of play it by ear, see what everybody does. I'd love to get on the podium, that's for sure.
This place hasn't been kind to me with the shoot-offs and judging. And I know there's a gentleman standing right over there that's prone to shoot a lot of 12s and 14s. So I'm going to use the first 2 targets as a kind of a sound judge, bearing. And if things are good, then start going for them and just do what I got to do. But I want to preserve a podium. I don't want to fall off that. So whatever I got to do to stay 1, 2, 3, that's what I'm going to do.
Welcome everybody to the 2019 Senior Pro Shootdown. Our 5th place qualifier got his first pro win at the 2000 ASA in Illinois. He's been an ASA Classic champion. Shoots for True Ball, XL, Shrewd, Gold Tip, SWAT Broadheads, and LP Lights. He's been a pro for 21 years, shooting for Martin. From Vinton, Virginia, Richard Leftwich with a 414 and 11 bonus rings. Your 2018 Foley Senior Pro Champion, your 2018 Metropolis Senior Pro 2nd place finisher, 2018 Kentucky Senior Pro 3rd, and Senior Pro Shooter of the Year 3rd place in 2018. Shooting AAE, Zebros, Elevation, Bowfinger, Gold Tip, XL, and GPO Optics. He's been a pro for 2 years, shooting for PSE. From Bismarck, Arkansas, Scott Darnell with a 415 and 13 X's. Your 2016 ASA Shooter of the Year, 2018 ASA Shooter of the Year, 3 ASA wins in 2018, shooting for Easton, Dead Center Archery, Shrewd, Big Shot Targets, Last Chance Archery, a pro for 19 years, shooting Hoyt from Boswell, Pennsylvania, Tony Taza with a 418 and 15 bonus rings. Two-time Shooter of the Year, an ASA Classic champion, several podium finishes in the ASA shooting for true ball, gold tip, bee stinger, specialty archery, and BCY, 19 years as a pro, shooting a Matthews. From Greenfield, Wisconsin, Dwayne Price with a 421 and 16 bonus rings. And your #1 qualifier in his first senior pro event, your 2019 Foley champion, shooting for gold tip, bee stinger, black gold sights, Hamsky, Q2I vanes, shrewd, true ball, threads. 25 years as a pro, shooting a Bowtech from Provo, Utah, your #1 qualifier, Tim Gillingham, with a 427 and 19 bonus rings.
Well, there's a look at newly crowned senior pro, I guess you could say, Nathan. Tim Gillingham, who actually had a bit of a stranglehold on the field earlier on in the day, still has a 6-point lead in this one. He'll be on target #1. Dwayne Price on target #2. On target 3 is going to be Tony Taza, Scott Darnell on 4, and Richard Leftwich on 5. And again, they had a chance to judge these targets. They had 10 minutes. Are you allowed notes that you can take, obviously, because it's been a while since they've seen these targets?
Yeah, they'll have a notepad out there with them, and obviously anything that they see, they might be making mental notes, writing it down so they don't forget while they're in the heat of the moment as to what they're looking at, what they're seeing, that sort of thing. So they'll, if they're veterans at this, which all of these senior pros are, lots of knowledge and lots of experience out there, they've done all those things.
So it looks like Tim on the taper is going to start off with a 10. Safe bet.
Oh, Tim blistered the course yesterday. Absolutely demolished it.
And not an easy course either.
No, it wasn't.
Tucked away, just really tight lanes. The way that this crew set up the course for both the senior pro and the men pro was really, really like blocking targets. There were some targets you couldn't see the head, couldn't even see the rear. You could just see the scoring rings, which made it difficult for some to judge.
So we see 3 of the 5 so far starting off with 10s, so no changes in the top 3 scores or positions so far. These 4th and 5th guys, 4th and 5th place, that's again where you really should see the biggest attempts to make a change, to make a big, bold move, gambling for 14 or shooting hard at 12s like we just saw there. I believe that was Scott Darnell that just shot an 8 on the Blesbach right underneath the 12. That is the longest shot out there, and so that definitely means he was gunning pretty hard at it.
So for Scott Darnell, an 8 score, like Nathan was saying. It was our winner from the 2018 Senior Pro at Foley last year. Darnell, a podium finisher a couple of times in 2018.
He is a PSE sales rep. That guy spends so much time on the road. I'm surprised he gets any time to practice.
He's only been shooting pro for 2 years.
Yeah. He's been shooting a long time. He shot at semi-pro and lived in Arizona for a long time and has shot all over, actually, and done an extremely good job. But just started shooting senior pro here a couple years ago. It's a good look at Taza right there. The guy has an amazing shot that hasn't changed since I've known him. A 2-finger zenith release.
Just ice in his veins, too. 3-time winner last year.
Looky there. Boom, 12.
Boom, 12.
Longest shot of the shoot-off.
Taza trying to make some moves.
Another good one right there. That was Darnell, I believe, on the turkey.
Upper left-hand part of your screen, by the way, the blue column is the ranking they had when they came in terms of score, and the green is what their total cumulative score is right now, 12 on the taper.
So what I'm deducing here real quick from these guys is the majority of those guys shot 10s except for Scott on the very first one. looks to me like they're all just trying to make sure the yardages are right. And now you're going to see them gunning a lot harder at 12s because they got a better feel. You see that now? We've scored 3 12s right off the bat here. So these guys are going to let it all hang out now that they've got their feet firmly underneath them with the yardage.
So the first arrow is a calibration?
Yeah, pretty much.
Say?
Yeah, you're just trying to make sure you got the numbers correct. I mean, this is a yardage judging game. It is a shooting game, but you can't hit what you don't know how far it is. I don't know if that was the proper English I just used, but
we get the drift.
For archers, I bet most of them get it.
Another 12.
That's Taza there on that blues box. That is a fantastic shot. That's long. Like I was saying, I've watched him shoot that 2-finger zenith for years. He won the Atlantic City tournament years ago, shooting the same release, I think.
4 12 scored for that second arrow of scoring. You can see that's the arrow in the gray box. So we're going to move on to our third arrow. Tim Gillingham leading the way, 449 over Price, who's got a 441, but Taza making some moves, only a single point adrift. Darnell 5 points back. Actually, Leftwich has moved up into the 4th place position with Darnell now in 5th at a 435.
Leftwich is no stranger to this. He competed in the men's pro class for a long time and had much success. He's been right there at the top for a long time and kind of, I won't say stepped away, but shot a lot less for a while and has come back and got really heavy into it as a senior pro.
Yeah, Leftwich's first pro win was back in '03 in Illinois.
Yeah.
An ASA event. He also won the Classic back then.
See, I remember all that. I was doing that then too. Just a little low there for Dwayne Price on the blizz box.
There's Leftwich out of Virginia. Shooting that Martin, 21 years as a pro, and ooh,
that's close.
That's close. Let's talk about that. You know, in 3D archery, we talk about pulling lines.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Well, it's foam. So as the arrow hits the target, a lot of times a perfectly molded line that is placed in the target by the target manufacturer will get pulled because the arrow is close to it and the foam rolls that line over into their arrow. So a lot of times what you think would be out actually gets pulled into the arrow, so you have to call it as in because it touches the line.
First score is going to be a 10.
Target number 1 there on the taper.
On the taper, that should have been Scott Darnell. Now as we move on to target number 2.
That is Richard's arrow.
Richard Leftwich, a 10. Didn't pull that line.
Nope, he was close though.
Target number 3 is going to be Tim Gillingham, our current leader. That's a safety one.
Yeah. You know, Tim doesn't have to get very aggressive here.
Right.
He's got a good lead.
But he is known over the years to do that, even when he is ahead. But
that is true, but you know what? He's a senior pro now. He has that wisdom and knowledge now to just lay up when I need to. Let's just see that if he does it for the entire round.
It should be Dwayne Price.
He's gunning hard at that thing.
He was. Question is it even a 10 or possibly an 8?
It's close. They're going to give it a good look.
Again, just like Nathan Brooks just mentioned, is it pulling that line? They're going to give him an 8, so it didn't quite get there.
No.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't know how far that target is because we aren't given those distances, but I'm just going to guess and say that's 50. That's
you think they went all the way?
It's got to be right at max.
Max distance for all the pro classes is 50 yards, in case you're curious. If you're just joining us here at the 2019 Black Eagle New Breed Pro-Am, Fort Benning, Georgia, Fort Mitchell, Alabama, close to Phoenix City, Alabama. East Coast time zone in a central time zone mix.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning weekend we've had so far as well in terms of weather.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Little cool
chilly this morning.
Yeah,
little
kind of
chilly.
hard to hold still when you're cold. But let's see, Taz there jumped up into second place with that.
He sure
with
did.
that 12 he just shot there.
So you can.
I'm sorry, a 10, and Dwayne shot an 8. So basically, he let Dwayne come to him.
So Tim Gillingham, who you're looking at right now, leads the way with a 4:59. He's got a 9-point lead.
Gillingham never ceases to amaze me with his follow-throughs and his shots. But I tell you what, he does something different than almost everyone out here does, and he shoots on command. And that's very difficult to maintain.
All right, explain that. So explain what a command shooter is.
Well, as you see, Scott's shooting a what we call a back tension release or a hinge release, and he's just pulling on it nice and slowly until it fires, because if you yank on that release or you try and command it to go now, it won't work that way. And so what that does is that helps you not anticipate the bow firing. So Tim does it differently. He fires the shot as soon as he's comfortable with it, wherever his hole is at. So the question is, how long can he hold it before he actually fires it?
Right.
Because that becomes a game of anticipation, and that anticipation monkey will eat your lunch if you're not careful with it. And it's had its way with him over the years, but he
has struggled with target panic in years past.
But he manages through it. And for him, it's not actually panic. It's just overcoming his anxiety. And I know that may sound like, well, that's panic, but not for him, because that's always there. So got a shot at a 14 here. It's a close one.
Certainly do. That is on target number 3. So that looks like it's going to be Leftwich.
Oh, it was a good run at it.
Yeah.
And again, look at where he's at position-wise. He really needed. I mean, he had nothing to lose. I mean, yeah, he was 4th place, but the difference in 4th place and 5th place is, you know,
it's 4th and 5th.
A few $100, or you know, maybe $1,000. Whatever it is, it's not enough for him to say it isn't worth taking the risk to get that podium finish and get contingency money.
Gillingham in with a 10. And a 10 for Dwayne Price.
So Gillingham moves on pretty easily with just 10s in a pretty commanding lead. And Taza is going to jump up into second, or maintain second.
Yep, so there we have 469 for Gillingham. Jump down to Taza, he's at 462. A 59 for Price, who's in 3rd. Darnell in 4th, 1 point ahead of Leftwich. And
so this will probably be Scott and Richard's last arrows.
And that's why you're in the senior pro class.
The glasses come out.
The glasses come out, double check. And then back they go.
Absolutely.
Got to be within 10 points after this arrow if you want to go to a 6th.
Oh, I believe that was Taz. Yeah, it was Taz. Probably just out of the 10.
So Tim is on the 5th target. This would be the turkey. Does he try to close the door here? Nope, plays it safe.
That's all he needed.
It's all he needed to do.
Darnell going for a 14 on the close wolf.
Have to.
Yeah, and it's the shortest one of the shoot off here as well.
So this would be Price with a 10. So as we saw, Tim Gillingham with a 10 as well. So no real movement there. But it should put Dwayne, so he's 10 points back. So with Tim's score, once it gets official, Dwayne should have an arrow.
Yeah, it should be. Dwayne will get to shoot the first arrow and on the 6th final target, and then Taza and then Gillingham should be the order.
So on that crying wolf, or the howling wolf, I should say. Oof. Didn't see that one.
That's a 50-yarder.
That's Leftwich.
Yes, that's again, nothing to lose. Let's just
go for that.
See
14.
what it does.
Yep, exactly.
You can't hit it if you don't shoot at it. So
that's right. So Richard Leftwich, 5th coming in with that 14, and he'll walk away 5th as well. At the end of the day, so we see Gillingham will have 479 This is what you're looking at if you're coming to watch this, and having the pros shoot on Friday and Saturday gives an opportunity for amateurs that shoot Saturday, Sunday to hang around and see their heroes shoot and see how it's done. And it's part of what ASA has done to create a tremendous crowd at these events. As we continue on with our round number 2 of the 2019 Mackenzie ASA Pro-Am Tour, a tour that sees us here in Russell County, Alabama. Next couple stops, you're going to be in Paris, Texas, Augusta, Georgia, May 18th, June 22nd, we're in London, Kentucky, and August 3rd in Metropolis, Illinois.
Ooh, that's going to be a cooker.
Is it going to be a cooker?
It's always just like bring enough clothes because you're going to sweat so much you'll have to change a couple of times throughout the day.
Thank you for that tip, because I haven't been down there that time of year.
It's a cooker. And if it rains, oh my gosh, the humidity's always
brutal.
Yeah, it's awful.
Our 6th target that is used for exactly this purpose is going to be your large deer, the HD. They're going to just throw that out there anywhere they want. It looks like it's a very similar position.
Pretty close, maybe a step or two back from where the lady shot it, but I don't know where they're placing the stake up here because we can't actually see where the shooters are at the moment. So they may have placed that in a different position, so it could be totally different.
You can see that number 6 down at the bottom of Dwayne Price's feet.
Now, something that is obvious to me because I'm 10 years away from the senior division. I don't know by the time I don't know by the time I get there, I'm going to have enough hair to compete because all 3 of those guys have a full head of hair, and I don't know if that's a prerequisite for that class.
It's definitely something to look for when you come to an ASA event. If you want to see Dwayne Price, just look at the coif.
Yes.
That thing is always
that's
shining.
A perfect shot.
Isn't that?
Right
That's just a great one. Yeah, he's always fun to hang around with. And this group of competitors, very, very serious, but also they get along really well.
Oh yeah, I've shot with all these guys at some point in time, and just recently been shooting with Tim, and he is so much fun
and generous, aren't they? Like all of them, with information, with their time.
Tim is, again, he goes above and beyond helping people. What that guy knows, most people. Or what he's forgot, most people will never know. I always ask him if I'm stumped on something. I'll call Tim and say, hey, what do you think about this? And I promise you, he's always got an answer. And I may not agree with it, but he's got an answer for me.
All right, so the running order at the moment is 479 for Gillingham. Taz at a 472, Price 10 behind at a 69. So Price will start first.
This is in my opinion, this is definitely a 14 shot because, again, he's got 3rd place wrapped up. If he hits a 14, Taza has to hit a 12, and he got it.
Wow!
He got it.
Nails that 14.
Now, see, that puts the pressure on Taza. Taza can't just shoot a 10 and beat him.
Confirmation, a shake of the hand by Dan McCarthy, who leads the way in Open Pro, who's coming up next. He's got an 18-point. McCarthy does in that one. Thumbs up all across the board. It's a great shot. No question on that one.
Oh,
either.
no, it just smoked it.
Smoked it.
A little hunting bow that he's using, by the way, too.
I saw that.
It's not like a big target bow or whatever. Dwayne typically shoots the smaller hunting bows really well. Been doing that for a long time now.
So 483, the benchmark. That's the high score on the board for Taza. If he shoots a 10, that's an 82. That's 3rd place.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. He put the pressure on him, so now he's got to shoot a 12 to beat Dwayne. Now, Taza probably doesn't have any illusion here of beating Tim, but he knows he's got to have that 12. He's probably shooting at that because it's easier to aim. Heck
wow,
no.
Come on.
What do I know? Looky there, 14.
He wasn't settling for 3rd.
Nope. And another thing there might have happened. When Dwayne shot the target, it put a hole in it. And it's a good aiming mark. And if there's not any good aiming marks on the 12, hey, the 12 and the 14 are the same size. So if you're going to hit one, you can hit the other one.
And then there's this guy.
Big Timmy. Tim's got to have an 8 to win. So he can't just shoot at the 14 just for the fun of it.
No, but you just got to go for the safety.
Absolutely.
Go for the safety, go for the middle.
This is a center 10 shot for Tim.
And he got it.
Nice.
So a 489 is going to be scored for Tim Gillingham, who makes his debut in the senior pro class.
491, he 12'd it.
491, he 12'd it. Sorry about that. I was just like, hey, safety, safety.
It looked like a 10, or just quick look. It looked like 10, but yeah.
So Tim heading over to PJ for his winner interview. Take it away, PJ.
All right, Tim Gillingham, first tournament as a senior pro. How's it feel?
It feels pretty good. You know, it's a lot of pressure. Guys, you know, expect you to come out here and not choke, I guess. And, you know, I started the tournament out with a 5, and it was just like, whoa, I got to stop. This ain't going to end up good. But I had a great day yesterday. Gave me a big buffer for today. I started out pretty good today. You know, I extended my lead a little bit, stayed right there, and then I got a little cold when I started watching the leaderboard. So feels good to have a little buffer. You know, Dwayne asked me what my strategy was, and I said, well, I'm going to shoot all 10s. Just shoot a couple 8s, will you? So, man, it worked out. You know, I 12 the javelina, and I 12 the final target, so I never got real aggressive on anything. Didn't have to, which is good. So that's the way we want to do it, is to win it on the course. So, you know, it's pretty dicey out here where we come out of the woods into the flat ground trying to get the yardage exact, you know, enough to shoot 14s. So that's a pretty high-risk proposition, unknown yardage. So.
All right, Tim, congratulations on your first win senior pro.
All right, thank you.
Well, Nathan, what did you think?
Well, I thought he did exactly what he was supposed to do.
All right, we're going to take a break. On the other side, more shooting continues as the Open Pro shooters coming up next.
Get in the red zone. Carbon Express's small diameter Maxima Red SD, taking big game hunting to an all-new level, making other competitors' single spine arrows obsolete. Patented tri-spine technology controls arrow flight, delivering better downrange energy and accuracy, all in a small diameter shaft. Think you're shooting the best hunting arrow in the game? Think again. Stay in the red zone. Assume nothing and shoot Carbon Express.
We don't build these bows to be different. We build them to be better. We're the outsiders, the mavericks, the fearless. We forge our own path. We're not chasing anyone, but we know what they're running from. It's an obsession, and the obsessed never rest.
Cam's coverage of the 2019 ASA Pro-Am Tour is brought to you by Black Eagle Arrows.